color?
No. Oh, if it's a different color, that's cute.
I mean, I have flare pins that are different. I got blue here.
That's fine.
Miss Eubanks, I didn't know you was showing up, so I didn't recommend that one, but I got an extra.
I'm actually just Miss Cosmo Scribe.
Oh, okay, so I'll give it to, well, here. Who's mom? No, he with her. He with her. Hey, good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, Miss Auburn.
Oh, we love you too. Yes, Aaliyah, what is it, honey?
Can I get a tissue?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and get your tissue. Alright, so this afternoon, we are going to focus on a very important skill that all good readers use. Who are the good readers? Absolutely. Alright, so before we start, our learning objective for today is students will identify the author's purpose, which is their reason, and perspective, which is their point of view, by analyzing how the author uses the evidence to support a claim in order to write a response to explain the author's perspective using text evidence. So what does that look like? We're going to read our text. You guys are going to tell me why the author wrote it and how you know by using text evidence, okay? And at the very end of our lesson, we're going to break apart and you're going to write a response explaining and using all of those details that you find from the story. Understood? Thumbs up if you understand, thumbs down if you don't. Lucian, you understand or you don't? Thank you, bud. Alright, so what I want you to do for about 30 seconds, turn and talk to your group and tell them what you know author's purpose to be. Alright, and we are coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm looking for a volunteer. Actually, I'm going to pick on someone. Joshua, please tell us in your words what you shared with your group to tell us what author's purpose means.
So, persuade is like what the author wants you to do. Inform is telling factual information, and entertain is entertaining.
Okay, exactly. And what is the author's purpose for writing the story? What is their purpose for writing the story? The author's purpose is to inform. For writing any story, what would the author, why would they write a story? Peyton, why would they write a story? So if they were trying to persuade us, looking for a volunteer, what would that look like? Why would they be trying to persuade us? Briella.
So, like, I think they would want to persuade us because they might want us to buy something or realize, like, something that's harmful to some things.
Okay. And if they're trying to inform us of something, what do you think they're doing? Emerson, what are they trying to do?
They're trying to give us real information about something or someone.
Notice what he said, real information. Information, inform. Notice the root word in information, or the base word, inform, right? And if they are trying to entertain us, what would be the purpose? What would be the purpose? Tristan.
To like the story.
To like the story, to get us to enjoy it. I don't want to read a story that I don't much like or get any information from. Alright, so exactly, everything that all of you guys just shared, the author's purpose is the reason that they wrote the text. okay? So I have a question. Raise your hand if anybody in this classroom has ever tried to convince someone to do something. I know I have. Lucian, you ever tried to convince somebody to do something? Oh, think back to that time you wanted that bubble gum. And we talked to mom. Were you trying to convince her to let you have that bubble gum? All right, your hand should be up. Huh. Fifi, tell me, what did you say? What were you trying to get them to do? To give you some money. And what did you say to them? Oh, nice and loud. You said what, honey? Carson, be respectful. Oh, after they give it to you. You said you was gonna pay it back. Joshua.
I was begging Miss Williams for Takis.
Oh, you were begging Miss Williams for Takis. Okay, so begging. Did she give you the Takis?
No.
Oh, so you didn't really persuade her, did you?
No, because she said if we make her laugh, then we can get Takis. Then Emerson made her laugh. Then.
Oh, so you persuaded her to give you the Takis. One last person, Denver. You persuaded your mom to buy you what?
She said fast food.
Fast food. Oh, how did you persuade her? What did you say?
I said, please just buy me that.
Oh, so you begged her. Because to persuade would be like, oh, let's say we have a visitor in the room. We have a couple of visitors, right? And let's say Miss Alberry says, you know what? I don't really want them to be here because I'm nervous. But then I say, oh, so can I record this and you watch it that way? Because I don't really feel comfortable. And they all say, oh no. And then I say, well, what happens if I get sick because you're in there? And then one of them's like, say it out loud. You say, what? Ew, if I say I'm gonna get sick if you're there, did I persuade you to just watch the video and not show up? See, persuasion. Alright, so when we're talking about persuasion, it is basically what you are saying, and the authors do the same thing. When we are reading stories, they are either going to persuade us, which means they're going to change our thinking or convince us to think a certain way. They're going to inform us. They're going to give us information like Emerson said. Or they are going to entertain us. They want us to like it and enjoy it. So for a quick moment, look at the title of our story. We should be on page 152 and 153. Just looking at our title. It says eco-friendly food. Nothing more, just thinking about that title. At this moment, I want you to stand up. Because this is where you are going to engage in the lesson and move around. Stand up. Based on the title, we have 4 corners. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a persuade corner. We have an inform corner. We have an entertain from Persuade to tell us why you chose Persuade, just based off the title. AY, share.
I think the author used persuade because the author is like trying to make us eat more healthy food, so then we won't be wasteful.
Okay, so based on the title, you think Persuade, so we can eat more healthy food to not be wasteful. Josiah, share why you guys chose Inform.
Because it literally informed us about healthy
This
stuff
case is
and non-healthy stuff.
Okay, and then I was chatting with Zalea, and you said you chose Entertain because
Because fruits and veggies makes you healthy.
fruits and veggies makes us healthy. So you think the author wants us to enjoy learning about fruits and veggies?
Yes.
All right, everybody, walking to your seats. We're gonna read and find out what the purpose the author wrote the story is. Yes. No, it didn't have to be. It's so important. It's 1 for 9. Thank you, ma'am. Alright, so before, I'll wait. Thank you, Carson. Before we actively get into the reading, let me explain to you. When authors inform us, they teach us facts. If you look at the pie on our Inform chart, they teach us facts. So keep this in mind. Remember what you chose before we started reading. When the author is trying to persuade us, there's going to be a claim. There's going to be reason and evidence. Who can tell me what a claim is? Who can tell me what a claim is? Michael, what's the author's claim?
A claim is like a personal opinion about something.
Their opinion, their stance on something. All right? Reason and evidence does what with the claim? Sage, reason and evidence does what with the claim?
Like, make sure it's like the right answer.
Okay, make sure it's the right answer. Peyton?
It supports
It supports the claim, right? So we have a claim and it is supported by reason and evidence, okay? All three of those work together to give you the author's purpose. Let's read our story, all right? We're turning to page 154, all right? And let's read the bottom box. So we're talking about paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, looking for a reader nice and loud, and I'm pulling, who's 23? Nice and loud.
If you have lots of disposable items in your lunch, consider the idea below. Or if you're having pasta or rice for dinner, why not make a little extra to keep for lunch the next day?
Alright, and so it gives us 6 steps to follow. Joshua, can you assist Sage and read the 6 steps that we are to follow? Oh, you're not there. Sorry, Aaliyah.
I'm on the
Okay,
page.
go ahead.
Sandwich in a cardboard box.
6 steps to follow.
Pick a carbohydrate, red pasta or rice. Choose fresh vegetables and seasoned or canned vegetables. Add protein, prepared meat, canned fish, cheese, cooked beans. Pack or chop fruit into natural yogurt from a large carton. Put your meals and yogurt into food containers. Pour juice or water into a drink bottle, strong plastic or metal.
I have a couple of questions here. The author wrote this. Who do you think the intended audience is? Meaning, who did he write it for? Who did he write it for? Who did he write it for? No, but who did he write it for?
advice for people who are wasteful.
Advice for people who are wasteful. Anyone else? Joshua?
I think it's for unhealthy people so that way they can become healthy.
Okay, unhealthy people so they can become healthy. And one last person, Emerson. Who do you think he wrote it for?
Like kids
kids who aren't waist aware yet.
Kids who aren't waist aware yet. Why did you say kids who aren't waist aware yet?
Because
Did you use the term waist aware? Tell me more about that.
waist aware would mean like
Want an assist? You got several friends.
No. Waste aware means when you're not wasting anything and like you're eating something and you're not gonna waste it, like you're just gonna eat it all. Something that you can eat it all.
Something you can eat it all. You're not wasting. You're aware. Tristan.
wasteful. Wasteful means like you waste.
Waste. Wasteful means you what? Say it again.
You waste.
You waste. So if wasteful means you waste, what is waste aware?
Waste.
Haley.
You don't waste.
You don't waste. You are, here's a word I want to teach you. You are conscious about what you are doing. Meaning you are very, it says it in there, aware of what is happening. Alright? Perspective. Remember I said perspective is point of view. What we just read. What is the author's perspective? Who can tell me what the author's perspective is? Lucian, you want to help me? Because I'm confused and I want you to tell me. Educate Miss Alberg. What's the author's perspective?
The author's perspective would basically be on how he would look at how things would be. Like he'd look at people as wasteful and some people as waste aware. While the people who are wasteful, they waste all their food and by throwing them in the trash. While the people who are waste aware will sometimes eat their food and then use the extra to and put it in a disposable bag.
Oh, thank you for that, because my question was, what examples, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Tristan, he said disposable bag, what's another thing we could do?
Like, for example, if say at lunch you have like a bag of cheeses
Mhm.
and you want to throw it in the trash, you're wasteful of doing that. But if you save the bag, then you're waste aware.
Absolutely. Alright, so, I have this question. So the author says eco-friendly food is better. But better for who? Better for what? Mariella?
It's better for us and better for like ocean life cause there's a lot of trash over there and like I want to give like an example. So basically if you have like a big box of a snack, you don't have like if you want to be waste aware, you're supposed to put it in like a container because that container can use it.
Okay. Kind of like Miss Albury used the example. I was talking to you guys on Friday, and I had my lunch in a Ziploc bag, right? And I said, well, I could just throw this bag away and use another one on Monday. Somebody in here told me that would be what? What would it be, class?
Wasteful.
Absolutely wasteful. So I put it in the same bag and brought it back today just so y'all know. I was very waste aware. Alright? So we are going to turn the page and we're going to keep reading. Alright? And I'm looking at paragraph 3. Alright, let's take a look at paragraph 3. Reader, who's reading for me? Who's number 10? Nice and loud.
Wait, paragraph 3?
Paragraph 3 on page 156.
Of course, it can be hard to be organized and have to prepare food every day at Nicola Creek State Primary School in Australia. Workers at an on-site snack bar prepare sandwiches and salads with fresh ingredients. Some of the produce comes from the school garden. They minimize food waste by making meals or sandwiches when they are ordered. Any leftover food goes in the compost along with fruit and vegetable peelings. The liquid from the compost fertilizes the garden. The whole cycle begins again.
Paragraphs 4, 5, and 6. Oh, okay, Lucia.
Okay, so processed organic foods. Prepackaged organic meals and snacks are convenient, but they are better for. But are they better for the environment? The pros would be the ingredients are products of organic farming, which does not use chemical fertilizers that can harm wildlife. And the cons are processing food requires a large amount of energy. Once produced, processed foods are often packaged, transported, and often chilled in a refrigerator, just like non-organic foods.
Alright, so remember at the beginning when I stated we were talking about claim, we were talking about reasons, we were talking about evidence, we were talking about purpose. I have a question here. What is the author's claim about these foods? Who can tell me what the author is claiming about these foods? Who can tell me? Let me see. Oh, Keely, you want to tell me what the author's claim is?
For pros? Yeah. The author's claim that the foods,
Alright, go ahead and tell me.
the foods are not good for the wildlife.
The foods are not good for the wildlife? Add to. Oh, Aaliyah. What is the author's claim?
The author's claim is trying. The author's claim is trying to tell us that say that you should buy more cons type of food than pros type of food because it could harm wildlife. It could probably be unhealthy for you.
The cons food or the pros food? I didn't hear what you said. Which one's better?
The cons.
The cons. Who remembers what we talked about what pros and cons mean? What's a pro?
Pro is the upside and cons are the downside.
Okay, so now thinking about that, Aaliyah, tell me, what's the author's claim?
Oh, okay. What I meant to say is that pros are better than cons because pros doesn't use chemical fertilizers that harms wildlife, but cons are just basically unhealthy.
Okay. Alright. Adding Fifi?
The author's claim is that prepackaged organic meals are more convenient, but they are better for the environment.
Okay. Briella?
I think pros are better because cons produce food requires a large amount of energy and pros are better food that have no chemicals when they go to the process, non-organic food does not have the chemical fertilizers.
Yes. So, the author's claim, she said, is that it's better because there's chemicals according to the cons. And my question was going to be, what evidence did you have to support that? But I didn't have to ask the question because she went right into the evidence. What was the evidence? What paragraph did she get the evidence from? Say it, class. 5 and 6. All right. So let's move along, and as we move, right, we are turning. I want you guys to think about a few things, right? And when you do, I want you to jot down in your My Notes section on your book. I want you to write down what you think the author is expecting us to believe right then and there. When I say stop and jot, that is when you are writing what you think the author is trying to get us to believe. All right, so let's keep going. We are now on page 158, looking for one reader for paragraphs 10 and 11. Who's number 1? Nice and loud.
There is a cheap and easy way to grow food at school, even if there's no garden use containers that can be placed
celebration is simple. Why don't you give it a try?
Alright, pause right there for a quick second. No, Carson, you're gonna wait. What is the author's claim in that paragraph? Stop and jot that down. Stop and jot what the author is, their claim is. Pick up your pencil. Stop and jot.
We're about 7. No, 10 and 11. Oh, my bad.
Emerson, go ahead, please sit up. Let's sit up. Paragraph 10, Fifi just read it. What is the author's claim? What is the author's claim? You need to say what is the author telling us? What are they saying? I also underline. Okay. No, it's not the time for that. Pick up your pencil. Pick your pencil. Author's claim. When you have it, give me a thumbs up. Where's your pencil going? Get your pencil.
What if we writing it beyond the
You're stating the author's claim. What are they claiming from the paragraph you just read? Right, once you have it, looking for some thumbs up. Alright, talk with your neighbor about what you underlined or wrote or highlighted for the author's claim. Table, group mate. You got your homie across from you. Talk with your neighbor. Oh, Lucia, guess who you get to talk to? You get to teach me. What's the author's claim? What did he say? What did he
Our friends are around that is English, that is garden with. Our school allows and it's really easy. And it's not that hard, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
It's a hard process. No, none. I just needed the bucket, the soil, and the seeds. And I didn't have to actually buy seeds because I used the cucumber that I already had. Those seeds. Is that wasteful air or wasteful? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are coming back. I'll give you something in a second. And we are coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lucian, can you share with the class what you and I talked about the author's claim was and why we chose that, which would it be our reason or our evidence?
our evidence. So,
Do tell.
So our evidence about what the author's claim would be is how that there's a cheap and easy way to grow food at school, even that there's no flower beds, because there's a thing called cylinder gardening, and you don't need any gardening experience to be able to do the preparation.
And I said what to you? What did I share with you?
You had to share that's you had lived in apartments in. There's no flower beds, no grounds in there. So then you had to did the sort of the exact same picture, the exact same thing that's on the picture on the page called cylinder gardening. So she had to that's it, and instead of going and buying seeds, she had decided to put a cucumber in the soil to be able to grow more cucumbers.
Absolutely. And I asked you one question.
You had asked me on if that was wasteful or waste aware, and that was a waste aware.
Waste aware. Yes, Peyton.
The author's claim is that some of the garden prep is not hard, and the author wants us to give it a try.
So now that we've read this much of our story, remember we started off and I asked you to pick a corner on what you thought the author's purpose was, what the author's purpose was. Was it to persuade us, to inform us, to entertain us, or you just don't know? Because sometimes we just don't know. Now that we've read some of our story, stand up and I want to see if you have the same opinion. 10 seconds to find the corner. Do you think he's still trying to persuade us, inform us, or entertain us? Or are you still not sure? Is he writing this to be funny? For us to enjoy it? You can. Is he writing it for us to enjoy it, or is he trying to give us information? Or he wants us to think and act a certain way? You sticking with entertainment? Okay. Take a look at where you are. Carson, stop with the door. You are. Alright. I am here. I am here. Look at where you are. Raise your hand if you switched your choice from the first time. So you went from where to inform? You went from persuade to inform? Okay. You went from, okay. And you were the only two to switch. Alright, I want to know, why'd you switch? And what evidence, oh, I'll wait.
I switched.
You switched as well? Alright. Why'd you go from where you are to where you are now? Tell us where you were.
I was at inform, and I switched to
Aaliyah, keep still.
that was
Sorry.
and I switched to persuade because from all of our other stories so far, they have told us like you should be eating this and and you should be doing this and like how to keep the world healthy.
Okay. So what evidence did you read or get from the text? What evidence?
That so far that the author trying to persuade us to try to start a garden.
Okay. Why?
Because
Where's your book? Grab a book and just tell me why. Why did you choose that? Inform people who switched from somewhere else and went to inform. Okay. Keep going, Emerson.
because wait, what'd you say again?
Why? What evidence do you have that made you say, oh no, he's no longer informing us, he's trying to persuade us, or she, I forgot if the author is a male, he or she is trying to persuade us to do something. How do you know?
Because like on page 154 it says that like you should be putting sandwiches in like a cardboard box in cardboard or a plastic box, like salad in plastic or chips box or cookies in plastic containers of yogurt, cartons or bottles of a drink, plastic curly and plastic bags.
So they're telling us something we should be doing is what you're telling me. They're telling us how to act is why he chose to go from inform to persuade? Those who went from persuade to inform, raise your hand again. Kaylee, why did you make the switch?
Because they're giving us facts.
They're giving us facts. Okay? All right. Tristan.
They're giving me information. Like it says. It says like facts about the story, like ways about like the world.
Okay.
So, like information that we didn't know.
All right. That's very fair. So, two things can be true at the same time, right? Two things can be true at the same time. And when I say that, what I mean is the author could very well be persuading us and informing us at the same time. Lucian shaking his head. Tell Miss Albury in your class, why did you shake your head yes?
I shook my head a yes because basically the author is both informing and persuading because the author is giving us facts on what choices are healthy and what choices aren't healthy, while the author is also persuading us to eat more healthy food and drink healthy water.
Absolutely. So, two things can be what? True at the same time. We can be persuaded while being informed. Thank you. Safely return to your seats. We are moving along to our packet. Yeah, after you listen to what I'm about to tell you, you're about to do have a seat, right? Thank you. Alright, so looking at the board, every one of you have a packet. There's a page in your packet that looks just like this that's on my board here. Alright? We are looking at our graphic organizer for our story that we are reading. Alright? So we're going to work together for this. What's my title? What's the title of, thank you, Eco-Friendly Foods. Who can tell me my genre? I don't see enough pencils and papers. Who can tell Michael?
Informational text.
Informational text. And in an informational text, what is happening?
It tells you true facts about.
I'm sorry, Bud. Say what?
It tells you true facts about what you're learning about yourself.
Tells us true facts about what we are learning. Okay? Now here, our author's purpose is where you, because this is what you read, what you felt. Check to see. This is where you pick what you think the purpose of this writing is. Ms. Albury's not going to check a box because if I do, you'll just check what I check. I want you.
So are we able to,
If that's,
are we able
remember what I said. Two things could be what?
So we can check both.
If that's what you feel.
If that's what I feel, I can check both.
Yes. Oh, you are. Hang on, buddy. All right, and once you have checked what your author's purpose is, you are then going to give Miss Albury some evidence, all right, as to why you chose what you chose. What reasons? What text? What information from the text? to why you chose that, okay? I need at least 2 details. Need help? Yeah, once you write, well, first, can you do what I need you to do? You didn't check. Oh, you did? Okay. On page what? How do you know it's the persuade? Tell me what page and what made you choose that. And then you may get it. No. Pick your pencil up and write on the page number. Okay. Ooh, I love it. My evidence. You went a whole different route. My evidence is, yes, sir.
So,
So which one did you
you
get?
know, I mean, you know, like, if we were to do two of these at the same time, where would we be able to find the evidence? Like, would it have to be on multiple pages or just the same page?
It very well could be, because you're looking, so you selected to inform and to persuade. So what made you say it's to inform us? And then what made you say, oh, it's also to persuade us? So you would probably have 2 exact different pieces of information, right?
Now I'm just confused.
And if you're having some trouble, remember, our 4 corners, we have persuade. We think about these 3 things: claim, reasons, evidence. The author wants us to think or act a certain way. He doesn't have to persuade me a whole lot to eat healthy. I already don't eat certain things, If he really wanted me to get rid of the junk food, he'd have to give me a whole super duper good persuasion, because Miss Alberry loves her a good bowl of ice cream and a brownie, only a corner brownie. So how can he persuade me to let that go? If it is to inform us, like Lucian, Emerson, and a few others have said, facts. He wants to share information about something. All right? Entertain. He wants me to enjoy it. How does he get me to enjoy it? How does he entertain me? How does he inform me? How does he persuade me? Did you do what I asked you to do first? Let me take a look. You may grab your jacket. Yes.
If we have like 2 different ones, we'll write it in the same document.
Second box. Okay. Alright, so once you have your evidence, you will then take the next few minutes, because you are going to write a small paragraph, 3 sentences at the very minimum, to tell Miss Alberry what your author's purpose is and why you chose it. Oh, I don't know how to do that, Miss Alberry. Well, we've already laid it out here. You've given me your reason that you chose, what the author's claim is. Hold on. Go ahead and get your tissue. And then here's your evidence. So it would look something like, I would say, my claim is that the author's purpose is blank. You tell me what you think the author's purpose is. The reason I said that, or I chose this, blank, is because And who can tell me what follows the because? What comes after the because? Peyton. The reasoning or your evidence. Alright? Yes, Tristan? However, if you want to write it in your own words, as long as you tell me what its purpose is, it's evidence. I wrote this here to help some of my friends who might need a sentence starter. Okay?
So we just
Wait,
put
what
the
about the
forward and
paragraph?
we just fill in the blanks?
That's for that.
Wait, so we use, so this is the third
That's
box.
if you want to provide a third piece of evidence.
I don't
Absolutely.
think I need to, because I'm doing one box for each.
Okay. So I heard someone say, well, wait, where do we put the paragraph? If you flip 2 pages over, it might not be 2 pages for you because I did yours double-sided. You're going to see a page that looks something like this here. It looks something like what you see on the board, all right? You got your author's purpose. I know this because the author's claims, the author believes that, evidence, and then down here is your short response. The author's purpose is blank. Their claim is blank. They support this with evidence from the text. All right? Yours is, that's it.
Wait, so do we do all of this before we write our response?
That's helping you detail your response.
So we
Your
have to do
response
this
will go
first?
there. Yes, sir. All right? So you will have the next 5 to 7 minutes to draft your mini short response. This does not have to be 20 sentences. Okay? If I am coming around, listening, looking, you can even talk with your neighbor to discuss why you chose what you chose. Maybe you might persuade them to change their mind. Yes, sir.
So basically, for this, do we have to do with 3 boxes of evidence, or are we able to do with just one if there's enough
Did
evidence?
you put,
This one?
so I want at least 2, because you have to inform and to persuade. So show me 1 for persuade, 1 for inform.
Though this is just
Oh, you put both of them in this one box?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to read to see that it was 2. Okay, so you have your 2 pieces of evidence there, so you will then flip over and complete your sheet here, okay?
Okay.
Alright? I can't tell you which one.
No, like which one? Like,
So you have all your evidence listed here, you will transfer that information, and then this helps you construct your mini short response, okay? Yes, ma'am? You chose 2? Mhm. And you have evidence, I think this, okay. Nice. I mean, you guys persuaded me to reuse my bag. I thought I was gonna be in deep trouble by y'all on Friday. Because I said I was gonna throw that bag in the trash.
What bag?
That Ziploc bag I had my snacks in because I didn't pack lunch. Who thinks the author's purpose is to simply persuade? Not sure. Who thinks it was to solely inform us? Okay.
I did both. Actually,
Who thinks it could be to both persuade and inform us? Most of my class thinks it's both.
I think
Tristan, you think what?
because it's information to the world and it's people's opinions
To eat how they want to eat. Yeah. Get your paper and your book and come with Miss Alberry. We're gonna work on this together. Come on, Roman. Roman, get your paper and your book. We're gonna work on this together. Come on, Zalea and Roman. And that's fair. shown what, so let me,
They're missing that, and their evidence is like, what, from their head, not the evidence from the text.
when Miss Alberry stood up front, where does the evidence come from? Does it come from here? The text.
That's what I did.
Because that's where I wrote on page, so that tells me I have to go back.
And you have to
Where?
say what it, you have to cite the text.
Yes.
Not just say what it, a general idea, 158 says it's wasteful.
Think back to races. Think back to races. When we are citing our evidence, we pulling it out of our head? No. Our answer comes from where? But our evidence comes from where?
The text.
Thank you. I better see some text evidence. Straight from the text.
Okay, when you come in the seat.
When you want me.
Whenever you want.
Tomorrow,
I need no way this afternoon, huh? Special.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. That's in like a half hour?
okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Evidence still on this page we already looked at.
So here's, because this I have to show to Miss Costin. So I have to take 4 people's papers down to take to her. So if you want to be one of those papers, yeah. If you don't want to be one of those papers, then oh, evidence is what you wrote on the last page. Right here, that's your evidence. Because this is the paper I have to take to her. Yes, ma'am, what you said? Okay. Yeah. About the evidence, absolutely.